Hey guys, how's it going? Andrew here, Enough Said Cards on Thursday evening. It is October 18th, 2018, and hope everyone's doing well. This is my response video for the contest that Ray from Philly is running for hitting 1,000 subscribers. So first of all, Ray, congratulations. That's awesome. Your channel is one that I've enjoyed pretty much since I started, participating in YouTube almost a year ago. I really like your videos. And you were one of the first to give my channel a shout out when I had made one or two videos, and I really appreciate that. It was awesome meeting up with you at the show last month. Hopefully we can do that again sometime soon. And for the contest, you wanted us to choose the best all-time baseball team by position. And I just think this is an awesome idea. I had a lot of fun putting my team together. Some of the positions were pretty easy for me to choose, and some were real difficult, and I had to do some research and read up on some of the players, and went back and forth and changed my mind a bunch of times. Had some good conversations with a couple other YouTubers. Spoke with Xavier, aka Snoop12922. I spoke with Mike, baseball collector, and I spoke with my brother about this, who's one of my favorite people to talk baseball with. And the difficulty for me was that the game has changed so much. And how do you compare someone who played 100 years ago to someone who's playing now? In a lot of ways, the game has changed, and just basing it solely on statistics, didn't seem like it was the proper way to do it. You could look at more advanced stats like WAR and some other things to compare them to other players at their time, and that's something that I looked at. Ultimately, I just decided that I was going to choose the players who, in my opinion, most dominated at their position at the time that they played. And so that's what I did. And so let's just get going with it. I'm not going to give a lot of, stats or information about each player. Everyone is going to be familiar with who I picked. I don't think I have any outrageous selections, but let's get started with it. So, best all-time baseball team by position. First base, Lou Gehrig. This is not one that I had a lot of difficulty with. I think that it's, in my view, pretty clear that Lou Gehrig is the best first baseman of all time. Second base, this is one that I kind of changed my mind a couple times. I had a few people that I was looking at, Rogers, Hornsby. Ultimately decided that I thought Joe Morgan was the best of all time for a bunch of reasons. So that's who I picked. Third base, Mike Schmidt, another one that wasn't too difficult for me. In my view, pretty clear, best third baseman of all time. Shortstop, this is one that I went back and forth on. As much as I hate to admit it, as a Red Sox fan, have to consider both A-Rod and Derek Jeter, and I went back and forth. Ultimately picked HONUS WAGNER, not because I'm a Red Sox fan, but because based upon his stats and some other things, I just feel that he was the most dominant at the time that he played at his position. So HONUS WAGNER for shortstop. Left field, Ted Williams, my all-time favorite player. In my view, also the best hitter of all time. His stats were amazing, and also have to at least consider the fact that he lost almost 5 years in his prime while serving our country. And so left field, Ted Williams. Center field, Willie Mays. This one was pretty easy for me. No doubt in my mind, Willie Mays, best all-time center fielder. Right field, Babe Ruth. In my view, the best all-time player overall. Absolutely dominant. In the era that he played, not only in right field, he was also an amazing pitcher prior to that. Just incredible stats. Best all-time player, Babe Ruth, so he's my right fielder. Starting right-handed pitcher, Walter Johnson. This is another one that wasn't too difficult for me. Incredible stats, totally dominant at the time he played, so Walter Johnson, starting righty. Starting lefty, I had a little more difficulty with this one, but ultimately chose Randy Johnson, who was absolutely dominant for a long time. Just incredible player. So Randy Johnson starting lefty. Right-handed reliever, Mariano Rivera. I mean, what can you say about Mariano Rivera? Just was an incredible player for a long time. So he's my righty reliever. Lefty, Billy Wagner. Can't say that I could, when I started thinking about lefty relievers, I actually had to look up online and kind of see who I should be considering. And there wasn't like an overwhelming amount of really amazing lefty closers to choose from, but the one that popped out from what I read and what I looked at and what I remember about him was Billy Wagner. So that's who I chose. And catcher, I chose Josh Gibson. And this one was also a little bit difficult. How do you compare someone who doesn't have, major league stats to look at because he wasn't allowed to play in the major leagues? And, from talking with a few people and from everything I read about Josh Gibson and from what people who saw him play said, other players and, writers at the time, it's just clear to me that he was so dominant and so great of a player that, even though we don't have the relative stats to look at, I chose Josh Gibson as the all-time greatest catcher. So that's my team. Ray, thanks again, and enjoyed doing this, and congrats on 1,000, and I will catch up with you guys soon. Take care. Bye.